particular tournament, one of the natural predators of the dinosaur decks, it's very special summon heavy, is Max C. But Max C, due to its limited status outside of Japan, is also limited for this event, and that gives the dinosaur combo deck with Yang Zing a huge advantage. And we're going to see a lot of players piloting that today.
Yes, a lot of duelists are counting on the cards they can discard from their hand to disrupt the opponent's plays. Because of that, we're also seeing a spike in the popularity of Skullmaster, which a lot of duelists were talking about and looking for copies of to use this weekend.
On Thursday, we had many duelists who made a special trip, an extra trip to Akihabara. Well, I mean, it's fun anyways,
yeah.
But they had a particular purpose in mind, to go find as many copies of Skullmeister as possible for their decks.
Yes, and that's a card we really haven't seen much success for in the United States recently, but appears to be a defining card this weekend.
Yeah, I would not be shocked if we see a whole lot of that. And of course, Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, which has been a tournament staple since it came out in Maximum Crisis, is also seeing a lot of play here.
Yes.
Alright, forget all that about dinosaurs for the moment, because our first feature match is between Aaron Furman of the United States and Ryan Slott from Oceania, Australia, I believe.
Yes.
And they are both playing with True Draco decks, although they're doing it two different ways.
That's right. Slott is using an interesting build that involves Alistair, the Invoker.
Yes, I actually like the Invoked deck a lot. The thing with True Draco is that it doesn't really have access to its extra deck very often, because you just don't really want to consolidate those True Dracos, smaller True Draco monsters into extra deck monsters. But here, now notice that the new rules are in effect. So basically what we're using is all the cards up through Starter Deck Link Strike, but not Code of the Duelist. But that also includes the changes to the rules that add the extra monsters up. And True Draco doesn't really use that a whole lot.
That's right.
So what Ryan Slott has done here, is you can see he's activated Magical Meltdown to get Alistair the Invoker, is that he's decided to make use of that extra zone and the special summoning capabilities and power that comes with it by adding the Invoked cards.
Yes. Magical Meltdown hits the field, and Alistair gets summoned to search for Invocation.
And one of the great things is that you don't just lose your normal summon for the turn on Alistair the Invoker, because the effects of the True Draco continuous spells give you additional summons to use on your tribute summons.
That's right, it's really cool. It's interesting, Furman, while not taking advantage of the invoked monsters in his extra deck, is actually using those extra deck slots differently to use popular monsters that he can hit with Ghost Reaper and Winter Carries, which he uses 3 copies of in the side deck.
Yeah, so if you didn't have Skullmeisters, or you couldn't get your Skullmeisters in time for this event, the backup strat is Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries to take out Denlaw.
Yes, that's likely to be a defining synchro monster in this format.
So we're still shuffling up after the search for Invocation. Now is Aaron Furman using Metaltron 12? That was the other interesting tech card that I've been seeing a lot of in these deck lists, but I don't remember if he's one of them.
He is not. I thought I only saw one duelist using it, but there might have been another.
There are at least 2, but one of them could be over in the Dragon list. So Metaltron 12 is the slightly bigger brother than Masterpiece, who wasn't ever quite as successful.
Yeah, but that card's insane.
Yeah, he's got bigger numbers on him, and he can become immune to all 3 things, but he hasn't really seen a whole lot of play, because it's just not as efficient yet.
So Slott activates Wonder Wand, which is fantastic here, as he gets to trade in his Alistair for 2 new cards. An Alistair in the graveyard is almost as valuable as an Alistair on the field.
It's probably even better, because you got the extra value out of it.
Absolutely.
Now the thing to note is that Invocation can banish that Alistair from the graveyard. Just like this in True Draco Phoenix is activated, and Slott uses its extra null summon ability to tribute summon Dynamite Knight, and then follows up with True Draco Heritage, activates his other deck to draw 1 card, as 1 True Draco or True King type of card was sent from the field to the graveyard.
This goes back to what you were saying earlier. Even though he technically used a normal summon on Alistair, it was irrelevant since he was able to gain the additional 1.
And as you can see, he's essentially normal summoned 2 more times, thanks to each of his spells. So he's got Ignis Heat and Majesty Maiden, and you can see Aaron Furman shaking his head. This is a way better opening than he really wanted to play against in round 1 of the World Championship.
Yeah.
Autumn Fires follows up next, banishing the top 10 cards face down to get Ryan Slott 2 more cards from the deck.
Furman either doesn't have the Ash Blossom Joy Springs that he wants 3 copies of to stop it, or defines to stop it with Ash Blossom.
I feel like he would have used it
I think so too.
significantly earlier, probably on the 1-1.
Face to Furman. Furman certainly looks like he's behind.
Yeah, the problem is, as soon as he starts activating cards, Slott is going to start getting even more cards.
Yes.
He's got both Ignis Heat and Dynamite.
spell and a trap card.
Well, you only use one each, but that also plays to Slot's advantage in that after the first card, you can search with one, and then based on that information, even if Furman changes his plays, Slot can change his plays as well to go get the other trap card if he needs it. Basically decide whether he's going to get Return or Apocalypse.
Of course, no duel here is over until it's actually over. These are all the best players in the entire world. If anyone can turn it around, it's the players in this tournament.
I like that start. He sets True Draco Apocalypse and then tributes it off for his regular normal summon for the turn, for his own Dynamite Knight.
The effect of Apocalypse activates, and he's able to destroy one monster on the field.
The good thing here is that he gets to choose which one, so he can force Slot to make the decision that's most beneficial to himself first. And it appeared that he had chosen Dynamite.
มันมีแข่ง3เกมอะครับผมมันมีแข่ง TCG ด้วยแล้วก็มีดากอนดูเอลด้วยแล้วก็มีดิวลิงอะเรายังไม่รู้เลยว่าเขาจะเริ่มแข่งดูเอลลิงตอนไหนนะ
That's going to be pretty good. It gets in 2 tributes on the field. If he could get a True Draco spell card. Oh.
Okay, so Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit will destroy the Dynamite, but it will not negate its effect.
Correct.
So Furman will still be able to play a trap card from his deck, a True King card.
He's going to get Return. That's a good idea, because he can go ahead and get back Dynamite.
Yes. Then the chain will resolve. Dynamite's destroyed. True King Return hits the field, and now Slot gets to choose which trap card he wants.
There are 2 possibilities. One is True King Return, which we saw from Furman. It has 2 abilities. One that special summons a True Draco or True King from the graveyard each turn. However, that is the only special summon you get for the turn. The other one is during your opponent's turn, you can tribute summon during their main phase. And those are its on-field effects. It has a third effect if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, which targets and destroys the monster.
Yes, that's one of the most powerful things about all of the True Draco spell and trap cards.
And that is what happened to Slot's Dynamite Knight.
Yes.
True King's Return is on both sides of the field. And we shuffle up. So it's going to be interesting to see where Furman goes from here. One way to deal with a situation like this is to just try to get Masterpiece onto the field. In these decks, there aren't a whole lot of spell cards that can deal with Masterpiece. So if you can get it with a monster and trap immunity, that essentially protects it from all of the major things you're going to have to deal with here. Slot's advantage, though, is that he has that extra deck capability.
That's true.
You can just get something that's far bigger than Masterpiece, which you can because he can boost any of his invoked monsters over it by discarding the Alistair. Pot of Desires is up next. And that gets hit by the Ash Blossom.
Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring.
Ugh.
Furman banished the top 10 cards of his deck face down, gone from the duel for good, and gets nothing in return.
That's going to make you sweat in round 1 of the game. So, Slot, out of all of his draws on the first turn, gets not only a very impressive board, he also gets the cards in hand to back it up with both Ghost Ogre and Ash Blossom.
Alright, Furman sets 1 card to the back row and play passes to Ryan Slot.
Not looking super great for Slot. What do we have on Furman's side in terms of traps? Is it just the Draco cards, or does he have something else?
He uses, in addition to 3 copies of True Draco Apocalypse and True King's Return, a Skill Drain, a Solemn Warning, and 2 Solemn Strikes, which I believe are the maximum allowed in this tournament.
Yes, that's correct. Solemn Strike is semi-limited in Japan.
ขอโทษด้วยนะครับโอ้โหรู้สึกเน็ตเช้านี้จะไม่ค่อยดีเลย
It's basically we take the FML lists from all over the world, combine them together, and whatever the lowest number of a card that's allowed is the number it's allowed at.
Wow, Slot had max C, and when Furman used the effect of his True King's Return to bring back Dynamite, he chained it.
No reason not to, because that's the only special summon in Furman's deck.
Yeah. That was a powerful opening hand for Slot.
Yeah. And he got how many extra cards in that first turn? He got 2 draws off of Wonderwand, he got a search off of Alistair, he got 2 more draws off of Pot of Desires, and he got another draw off of True Draco Heritage. So he essentially got more than an extra starting hand off of his various draw cards. And that's why many players believe that True Draco is the best deck for this tournament.
Yeah. Seems to be a split opinion, though, as a lot of players are playing the dinosaur deck.
It is, and it's very along territorial lines. So North America has very largely gone with True Draco. Japan has very largely gone with dinosaurs. Only one member of each team has dissented and played the other.
Interesting. We'll see how those duelists do compared to the rest of their teammates.
And we do see that Furman had the strike, and he's able to take out Ignis Heat there. If he is to make a comeback, that is how it starts. And now he activates the Tribute Summoning effect and gets that Masterpiece down there, immune to monsters and traps. And that is what Furman needs to happen if he's going to get back in this duel.
That's exactly what he needed. What spells does Slot play that can destroy it?
None.
Right, he's likely going to need to attack over it.
None. He has to attack over it. So he's got the Invocation that he can use to pull out something. But with Masterpiece immune to monster effects, I had assumed that he would want to play Mechaba, but I don't believe that works here because if Furman, it won't be able to negate the effect of Masterpiece because it's immune to monster effects. So it goes with Cositus. That's one that we don't see a whole lot. That is a very high defense monster, and it is, I believe, invulnerable to card effects, but I will check that for you in just a moment. Alright, the slot continues. Let's see if he brings back his Alistair.
Cositus alone won't get over the Masterpiece since it only has 2,900 defense points, so I'm not entirely sure what the plan is here.
He now special summons back Ignis Heat, and that's the last special summon he can do this turn. After you resolve that special summon, that's it for the turn. And indeed, Cositus cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And it can attack one defensively. Not quite as good as the Super Heavy Samurai, though. It has to use its attack points, and they are not very good. They are 1,800. So even with the boost from Alistair, it would not be enough. Could he have double Alistair?
Don't know. Furman looks worried. He suspects Slot might have something that can overcome Masterpiece.
And he does indeed bring Alistair back to the hand. I'm going to check quickly to see if the dreaded hard ones return is on Alistair. It is not. Send from your hand to the graveyard, target a fusion, gain 1,000 attack and defense until the end of the turn. So if he had double Alistair, he could get past Masterpiece here. There's not a whole lot Furman can do with it because Cositus can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This is the advantage we were talking about that you get by including the extra deck monsters that you normally would not. I really like Slot's choices here.
Slot sets one card to the back row. Looks
like Furman's breathing a bit of a sigh of relief.
If it's a spell, though, Cosmic Cyclone, so it's destroyed by Masterpiece. Suddenly, things are looking fantastic for Furman.
Yeah, Slot will be able to buy a turn for his Cositus. But it looks like Furman has got what he needs to try to turn the corner on this one. The problem is there's going to be this kind of constant revival effect, where Slot will have a chance to dig for even more cards. It's going to take a while to get through that if all he has is Masterpiece. Now we see Furman activates Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, and he's going to use it to Tribute Summon. Yeah, that's a good one, Majesty Maiden. Majesty Maiden is going to help him to get more threats to try to get through this board faster and get some damage into Slot before he can recover.
He'll use the effect of Disciples, or at least he's considering using the effect of Disciples. If he uses it, he can destroy True King's Return or Magical Meltdown if he'd rather. Looks like he's contemplating which of the two he would prefer to destroy. True King's Return has an effect that keeps Slot alive longer, but if it's destroyed, Slot would be allowed to use its effect to destroy a monster on the field.
Yeah,
so
that's 100% why this is happening, is because he needs Majesty Maiden to sit there and start bringing up more cards.
Yes. Now Masterpiece attacks the Invoke.
2950, Slot's considering whether or not he's going to use his Alistair to defend or keep it to normal summon next turn. I really think Majesty Maiden has been underrated by a lot of people.
Yeah, the deck lists are actually interesting because a lot of players are using 3 copies, and a lot of players are using none or maybe 1. It seems that the opinion of Majesty Maiden drastically differs among top competitors, and I think a lot of the indecisiveness is actually drawn along regional lines as well, where players from certain countries favor it more than others. Looks like I think the U.S. players are actually running more Ignis heats, it seems.
Yeah, we saw that at the WCQ. I actually I prefer Majesty Maiden in this particular format because I think it's important to be able to continually play so few monsters, right? And you need to be able to keep getting them out of your deck, especially Masterpiece, since it's limited to 1 in this tournament.
Yes, that's a big deal, and also Draconic Diagram is also at 1, so it makes it harder to dig for Masterpiece. Furman is using 2 copies of Maiden and 2 copies of Ignis Heat, so he's sort of hedged.
Yeah, that looks like Maiden got taken out by... Was she taken out by Ghost Ogre?
I think True King's Return.
Oh, True King's
Looks like it was destroyed. So he probably destroyed Maiden. It appears that Slot opted not to protect his Invoked monster with Alistair. He let it get destroyed, and here comes a new invocation.
Okay, so what happened there was Ash Blossom negated Majesty Maiden, and then after the True King's Return was destroyed, it in turn destroyed Majesty Maiden. So Ryan Slot picking up a lot of cards that he can just play straight from his hand. He's got multiple Ash Blossom, the Ghost Ogre, Max C. But that's what happens when you can draw through that many cards of your deck.
Yeah. Invoked Rage in here.
I like Invoked Rage a lot. It is Book of Moon on legs. And that's what you get for fusing Alistair with a wind monster. Now, Invocation, it's important to note, can fuse from either player's graveyard.
Yeah, so it really broadens the attributes that it can use as materials, which makes it really easy to grab the monster you need. Unfortunately, Ragin is still weaker than Masterpiece, and Masterpiece is still immune to monster effects.
Yep, doesn't do anything about Masterpiece.
So, if he could use Alistair to increase its attack points, but he's summoned in defense mode, so it looks like it doesn't have it.
No, you can't increase Raijin quite enough to defeat Masterpiece there. I believe Raijin only has 1,800 to start.
I thought it was higher. Let me check.
Is it 22?
I thought it was. I thought it was at least 2,000, which is all it needs. It's 22.
Okay.
2,200, but he's on the defensive against Masterpiece.
Yeah, Masterpiece would just destroy Raijin in that case.
Yeah, so these invocations are summoning really cool, really powerful monsters, but they're just getting destroyed by Masterpiece.
Upon Duel, it comes down for Furman. You can see True Draco Apocalypse. He's got the super rares from the newest OTS pack, which I think look quite nice. Same with the Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. Between that, Cosmic Cyclone and Ash Blossom. That's an interesting choice. I think I like Cosmic Cyclone here because you want to be able to preempt another trap, or at least when it's flipped to take it out. But given all of the searching effects that Ryan's been up to, I can certainly understand why he's taking Ash Blossom here. That's one way to stop the Alistair train.
Yeah, and Masterpiece is just taking this duel back 1 monster at a time.
Furman has quite a big supply of continuous cards in his graveyard. Shuffling up. Looking into your soul at home. And we're going to finish this shuffle and get back to the action.
Players want to ensure their decks are sufficiently randomized. If ever there was an important time for it to be, I would say the 2017 World Championship is one of them.
17.5 minutes have elapsed. There are 22.5 minutes left in this round. Now this tournament, unlike previous World Championships, uses timing rules that are most similar to the rest of the World's tournaments. So in previous years it was 1 hour.
It's a great movie. You can get any Gaia though, right? With Dimension.
Any Gaia the Fierce Knight, yes. It's just I like Lord Gaia because it's a Cyber Dragon. The bigger.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking Swift Gaia.
Because you've been playing all this Duel Links.
It is all that Duel Links. I have been playing a lot of Duel Links.
That's okay. We got round 2 of Duel Links next after this.
I'm excited for it. Looks like Furman takes the first round as Slot was unable to beat Masterpiece.
Yeah, at this point you concede for time.
Yeah,
And one thing that we do note is why that took a little while is when you are conceding here at the World Championship, you basically have to get it approved to make sure that it is not for any untoward reasons.
yes.
There's a lot of fierce competition at this event, and we just want to make sure that everything is on the level. So these players will get back the time that it took to get Andrew over there. Oh, Andrew Bowling is your head judge for this tournament. If you're watching us in North America and have played in a major Yu-Gi-Oh event, particularly YCS's, you know who Andrew Bowling is. He's always there. And he's also one of the most experienced judges on the World Championship level as well. So all of our duelists are in excellent hands this weekend with Andrew and his team.
Absolutely.
As for side decks, well, it's interesting that Slot is kind of side decking into the Card of Demise build. So he's got his invocations, Wonder-Wands, and stuff in the main deck, but Card of Demise is so good and so powerful that he felt the need to add it to his side deck to switch in between games. And I'm wondering exactly what his plan on that is. Is it a if I'm going first versus going second kind of thing? What do you think about that? What would make you side deck Card of Demise instead of just playing?
Might be the matchup. It might be in this matchup, it's better than it would be in the dinosaur matchup, where you are liable to get destroyed pretty quickly.
I think it's going to be a first versus second.
You think
because
just
he's also
going
got
first is
his,
better to Card of Demise?
Yeah, because he's also got his Solemns all on the side deck.
That could be.
So presumably because he knows he's going to get the chance to go first in this duel, he's going to side in his Solemns and all of his draw cards and just try to do a lot of what he did in the first duel and power through his deck as fast as possible. But this time try not to lose Masterpiece.
Yes. Another thing actually Robert Boyajian was telling me about. In the United States, a lot of players were reluctant to use Card of Demise with a bunch of monsters whose effects activate from your hand during your opponent's turn.
Right.
We are not seeing that this weekend. Players are not afraid of that. If they're willing to take the risk of drawing Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring or Max C or Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit after activating Card of Demise because the card is too powerful for them to not play in this tournament.
And not only is it that powerful, there's also the whole numbers argument. You have fewer Card of Demises than you do all those other cards.
That too.
And it's not like, let's say you're going second, you're going to get a chance to play those cards anyways.
Yes. Card of Demise is semi-limited in this tournament.
Correct.
And Furman is using 2 copies in his main deck.
Yes. And Slot had them inside as well. Looking around the tournament, let's see how the rest of Team North America is getting on. In the main event, well, you know where Aaron Furman is. He's right here. But also, Kenny Nguyen from the United States is taking on the reigning world champion, Shinsuke Hiyama, over on table 9. Richard Jam, he's from Canada. He's taking on Marcello Barberi from Italy. Roland Fang from the United States is taking on Daniel Stella, also from Italy. Jesse Cotton from Canada. He is the highest point total duelist. He's taking on Twa Shen Fei Milton, Singapore. Billy Brake, the second place in our world qualifying points chase, is taking on Ryosuke Sujimura from Japan. The U.S. top points getter Isala Watatan Trige is taking on Joshua Schmidt, another powerful duelist who Billy Brake has faced off against at many points. Hopefully they will get another chance to go at it today. But he's playing Isala first.
Yes. We're going to see a lot of all-stars facing off in this tournament, as only the best in the world were invited to compete, and there are so few players in the tournament itself.
And it looks like we are just about ready to start off our second duel here. Ryan Slot starts with the monster face down.
That
you don't see that a whole lot.
No, that's probably not where he wanted to be.
Oh no, I see what he's doing. He's probably just going to jam Masterpiece.
All right, that's not a bad place to be. Max C was the tributed monster.
That makes sense because there's only one. There's only one thing. The only problem is that he's left it vulnerable to trap cards, and that's where all the really nasty removal is in this matchup.
That is true. So True Draco Heritage allows a slot to draw 1 card, thanks to the tributed Phoenix.
And that's it. Plays to Furman. Well, it certainly wasn't as explosive for Ryan Slot in terms of sheer amount of cards drawn, but he does get Masterpiece to the field.
Yeah. With a continuous spell in the graveyard.
Furman activates Twin Twisters.
He's targeting his own card and the True Draco Heritage.
That's got to be a
It's
Draco trap.
definitely, yeah, True Draco
is.
Trap card taking down the Masterpiece already.
It is. As soon as Masterpiece hits the field for slot,
Oh,
it bites the dust.
and then
oh no!
Heritage to draw 3 cards.
Draw 3 because it counts both sides.
Oh, man.
Monster Spell and Trap all to the graveyard. Aaron Furman is just destroying Ryan Slot.
An incredible start for Furman.
Well, that's a fantastic start, but now he has to capitalize on it.
He does. We saw Slot had a very good start last duel and just wasn't able to capitalize on it.
Slot's not going to have the advantage of Masterpiece anymore, though.
That is for sure. That's the biggest problem here.
Tributes a face down, True King's Return. Gets Dynamite Knight. Dynamite Knight gets in there for 2,500. Oh,
It's looking rough for Slot already.
Aaron Furman turning up the heat. Sets 2 more cards face down. No Masterpiece in sight, so Slot still has a shot on this one. But if Furman can lock in another monster and trap immune Masterpiece, that'll be all she wrote. Slot thinks about it. Checks his graveyard. He's got to do something. 13 minutes are left in the round.
Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. He activates it. He could use it to draw a card if he wants to get rid of all the True Draco cards in his graveyard.
I think he would want to.
Yep.
Because that gets Masterpiece back into the deck at least. Actually, is it only spells and traps or just True Draco, True King cards?
I believe it's both,
Both.
but we should confirm that.
Yeah, let's just confirm that.
Either
I don't
way-
actually see that effect used very often.
Either way, Dynamite activates, and he gets to activate True King's Return from his deck face up.
And it is True Draco or True King cards. So yeah, Masterpiece can get back into the deck. And we also have an update for you from the Duel Links World Championship. At Duel Links Table 2, BOA Fan is the winner. Table 3, Fresh Allen is the winner. Table 4, Tutpup is the winner. And these are their screen names, of course, for Duel Links.
Another cool thing about Duel Links, you can always play in ranked duels, and if you do, you're paired against a random opponent around your level, and you may play against one of these Duel Links celebrities without even knowing it.
Alright, so we are shuffling up here. Now it looks like we're about ready to resume action with just over 11 minutes to go in the round. Ryan Slot needs to come back to try to push this to a third game and at least give him a shot at a draw. Taking a loss in the first round would be hugely devastating because you only get 5 rounds.
Yes.
After 5 rounds today, well, here's your tournament schedule for the main event. There will be 5 rounds of Swiss today. After those 5 rounds, we will cut to a top 8 and we will play the quarterfinals tonight. That's right, the quarterfinals will be tonight following round 5. After that, the 4 remaining players will be the ones that advance to Sunday. So that's another way that we are breaking from tradition this year.
Yes. Slot uses the Draco Phoenix card, as we predicted, to send back all of the True Draco and True King cards in his graveyard to draw 1 additional card.
I've got a further update in the main event. On table 8, Alejandro Garcia is the winner. He was taking on Maxime Abremont from France. Updates on where our Duel Links winners are from. Tutpup is a duelist from Sweden. Fresh Allen is from Puerto Rico. And BOA Fan is from South Korea.
Slot is prepared to draw 1 card, and he needs a good one.
Let's see what he's got. Still got a few cards in hand there. Ooh, Alistair the Invoker. That's not a bad one.
Definitely not a bad one. He sort of shrugged when he drew it.
If he gets it by a strike, though, that could hurt.
Yeah.
Let's see if what Furman's got.
Unless he already has the invocation.
Well, he's not allowed to activate the effect if he has the invocation. That would be cheating.
There's only one copy in his deck?
Only one
Is that
copy.
correct? Yeah, okay, you are correct.
He activates Ash Blossom to negate it.
Slot knew he had it because Furman added to his hand with Pot of Duality, so perhaps that was the bait for this terraforming.
Yep, we saw this exact move in the last duel, and this time Masterpiece is in there to take out the diagram.
Yep. And lucky for Slot, his Masterpiece is still in the deck, thanks to the True Draco Phoenix.
True Draco Apocalypse destroys a True Draco or True King card on the field to have the attack and defense of all your opponent's monsters permanently. And it destroys True Draco Heritage, and when it's sent to the graveyard, he's able to destroy Dragonic Diagram. That just shows you the power of the True King spell and trap cards.
Yeah, they're very interesting interactions. They play off one another very well, and I think that's where a lot of the strength of the deck comes from.
And True Draco Apocalypse also has the Tribute Summoning effect that you see on True King's Return.
Of course.
In addition to the Monster Destroying effect, of course. Alright, well, Plan A didn't work. Plan B didn't work.
Let's see Plan C.
We're up to Plan C. First, we have to finish Plan S and shuffle up Ryan's deck. Gives Slot a little more time to think over his moves.
It does.
Time in short supply, though.
Yeah.
With 8 minutes left in the round.
Time is in short supply.
Plus a little bit of stoppage time for needing to call a judge for the concession in Game 1.
Slot sets a card to his back row and play passes to Furman.
Furman looking to close this thing out before Slot has a chance to get back in.
Oh, Dynamite attacks. Alistair's destroyed. That's a good start.
1,500 more damage done. Ryan Slot's now playing on Duel Links life points.
Slot draws and needs another good card.
Nothing, shakes his head.
Card of